The former Culture Minister Ed Vaizey says he's confident a deal is within reach to return the so-called Elgin Marbles to Greece, and he's chairing a new group to try to make it happen. The marbles haven't left the British Museum since 1816, and the government says it has no intention of changing the law. Victoria Cook is outside the museum tonight. Victoria, just explain what's going on here.
Well, the Elgin Marbles aren't the only artefacts that were removed from other countries over various years and brought to institutions like the British Museum here. And the British Museum isn't alone. There's museums all over the country that have artefacts like this that people say these items should be returned to their home countries. Well, the Elgin Marbles, which are now more commonly known as the Parthenon sculptures, were removed from Athens around 200 years ago, as you say, by a man called Lord Elgin. Now, he was a Scottish soldier and diplomat. Now, the Greek authorities have been campaigning for them to be returned, but it's actually British law that prevents institutions like the British Museum from basically being able to hand them over. Now, it's this law that was being debated in the House of Lords today by Ed Vaizey and his task force. Ed Vaizey, the former Culture Secretary, says these Elgin Marbles really should be returned.
It's important that they're returned because the Greeks feel very strongly that the Parthenon sculptures are very much part of their cultural identity. And not every object is regarded in that way. There are plenty of Greek sculptures and Greek objects in the British Museum that the Greek government is not asking to return.
Well, over the years, the debate around items like this really has intensified, and people increasingly saying that items like this should be returned to the countries they were taken from. But the government says it has no plans to change the law, and the Prime Minister Liz Truss says she doesn't support a deal that would see the sculptures returned to Athens.